Hello ladies and gentlemen, Luthau here and welcome back to Warhammer Odyssey. So, if you haven't been keeping up to date with the weekly updates the Warhammer Discord has been doing, been teasing quite a few stuff here and there. So we'll go over what we haven't covered already and we'll just see how it goes. So the first weekly update they showed, they said they continue focusing on existing tasks with the majority of work towards the sewers, combat animations and UI functionality. And of course bug fixes. Of course, design wise they've been placing mobs in large areas of phase 6 and 7, which is how they progress the player through the sewers, and just been doing additional side quests, which is good. And just they've had a new senior designer join their team, which has been elevating the UI and UX, and of course improving the player's experience. So that's good to hear, and it's also good to hear that adding more side quests to the sewers, as like for example the wastelands, it's like the quests in there are not great because there's not a lot of them, like there's very few, so it's nice that they're making this zone good, and it could be that they're just making the zone as best they possibly can, so that's also good to hear. Art wise they've been reworking the cosmetic dyes, which is good, because the cosmetic dyes we've got at the moment aren't exactly great. Like the colours of them just don't show on the armour well, in my opinion. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to make it so that dyes from different realities kind of make sense. It's like mundane have muted colours, and then on the way up to higher rarities, master will have kind of like bright in contrast, so that they look definable on the equipment as they have said. So that is good they're doing that, as well as them working on goblin enemy types, which is cool. So we're going to be fighting new enemy types, which is not too bad. And of course they've been improving existing enemy animation attacks, so that's also good as well. And then programming, they've been continuing to implement the titles and achievement system, which is nice because as I said before, you know, this would be a good thing to add, as it will give players who want to play the game long term stuff to do, because you know you've got these achievements that they can kind of go for completionist wise and get maybe like hard titles on your characters. And also for content creators like me, we can do like achievement guides and stuff like that to kind of show you how to get like these cool title names, or maybe complete hard achievements and whatnot. And then we go on to the teasers. So they did tease like vehicles, like one's a small Skaven wheel vehicle, and then you got a big one which with a draw at the end. Now these could be just props that are going to be in the sewers. I don't really think they're going to be something we can fight. I mean, it'd be cool if we could fight if it was like a boss vehicle that we could fight and had like mechanics to it, but I highly doubt it. But it would be cool if it was the case. Then we go on to the next week update. So they basically said they complete a big tech milestone for updates. So basically it reduces the issues of when installing updates to the Play Store. So that's good for them. And they did the first iteration of weapon cosmetics and their special effects, which is cool. It's also know they're doing weapon cosmetics, which of course we kind of already knew that with the of course cosmetic helms and whatnot, so hopefully they do other stuff. Then design, the entire team was focusing on the sewers with questing, and of course implementation of hidden locations within the level, which is cool because that sounds like they're going to be adding kind of like hidden quests that you can find and come across. So that's like similar to the wastelands, where you got the two zones that if you just walk into those areas it triggers a quest. So hopefully that's what they're doing, and that will add a bit more exploration, gives you like a reason to why you should explore and find those quests, give you of course extra experience and maybe even unique rewards, so that'd be cool. They've also been doing additional character art to be used in the sewers, as well as add them to level and monsters within the sewers to add more variety. So it's cool that we're going to be seeing more than just Skaven. And of course they've been fixing like bugs and VFXs on cosmetic weapon skins, so that's cool. Art, they've been improving the dye system from the sounds of it, and then creating variations of materials, leather, cloth, metal, and very base item qualities for tier 4 equipment, so that's cool. They've also been doing more animation improvements, and they stated Warrior Priest was basically getting improved, and with their animations on attacks, so that's good, because in my opinion the Warrior Priest was kind of like the weakest out of all of them in the sense of animation. Like, their animations are not the greatest out of all of them. Like, in my opinion, the Shadow Warrior is probably like the smoothest attack animations they have, and then when it comes to transitioning, they probably have the best transitions out of their animations. So yeah, that's just my opinion. And then they also say they'll be adding specific effects for different damage types to help us identify what type of damage mobs inflict, which is good, because if people actually didn't know, if you look in the resistance tab, you got slashing, pierce, and I think it's blunt as well. And basically each enemy do different types of damage. So, and of course, if you didn't know as well, if you look in your skills state what damage type they do. So basically you can reduce the amount of damage you take when you stack in that resistance. So, like, for example, the giant does basically blunt damage. So if you stack blunt resistance, you won't take that much damage. So it's good that they're doing that, so that you can figure out what you're lacking in resistance wise and what to go towards. So this is going to help a lot of players when this comes out. Of course, the programming bit, they've just been focused on bug fixing, polishing new systems and features, and of course titles, status effects as a part UI, which is good. All good stuff. And then they teased at the end the animations of what the cosmetic weapon looked like. For example, they gave was a Archmage staff. It looked cool. I like the glowing, as I do believe that from mundane to masterwork, like mundane should look kind of worn out and not there. Then on its way to masterwork, it should look a bit more pristine and have like a glowing effect. So it's cool that they're doing that, because that was my idea I had. And then we go to the recent week they gave out, which was that they basically finished a internal playtest, and now that the app bundle work is complete and they're able to deploy updates quicker from what I understand, so that's not too bad. Then we go into the design, which is group bosses have been implemented in the sewer map, as well as additional quests, which is good. So basically group bosses, that's probably similar to the giant in the wastelands again, as well as the other 5 skull enemies they did add not too long ago. So it's cool that they're doing that. Hopefully the bosses are a bit more interesting than your standard ones we got at the moment. The teams will make sure there's plenty to do while exploring the rat infested place, so that's good. They've basically making this zone very much, as best they can possibly get it. They've been doing combat rebalancing in the effect of making stats and attributes simpler and easier for players to understand and create more variety in player builds. This process will be completed in stages over the next several months. Now, this is where I think this is not going to be part of this big update, because if they're doing these reworks on the stats and attributes over several months, then it's kind of like, well, if you've got other systems done, release those and then just keep this back. Unless you're going to release it all in one bundle, then we probably won't have an update in September or even October. Like, it'll probably be the end of this year, which is not good. Because I predicted in my last video, my last patch news video, that we'll either have an update by the end of August or mid-August or even in September. So I'm still having a feeling we'll get something in September, because if they don't release anything soon, of course the player base is going to start dying. And I mean, it's already getting quiet at the moment. and because there's not a lot to do at basically endgame, you could call it. But yeah, hopefully they give us something soon. I mean, they've completed some things in this week patch, they said, so hopefully we'll get something soon. But anyway, back to what was about stats and attributes. So them simplifying it, I don't exactly know what they mean by that. Like, they're making it simpler and easier for players to understand. To me, it's already easy to understand. I mean, it explains what the stats do. You know, focus gives you, if you're a healer, gives you more, you know, healing power, as well as, yeah, a little bit of damage. And there's like leadership gives you more energy, so you can cast your skills more. You know, stuff like that. It's very simple. It's like initiative allows you to dodge more. It's just like, that is simple. So I don't understand why they're saying to make it simpler. Like, what they're planning to do, are they kind of removing some stats or combining some stats together? Like, for example, I can give is that a simple way of probably doing that would be combining focus and leadership, so that they, you know, it's one stat, and that, you know, you gain healing power as well as energy. Or like combining initiative with I don't know, wisdom or something like that, or something like that. I'm just spitballing here, but you know, basically combine the stats together so there's less of it, and that it allows you to make your character build a bit better. And then we go into art, which is they apparently had tier 4 weapon and equipment concept approved, which they've showed concept art at the very bottom, which I'll show in a bit. And they've basically started production on elves and dwarves. And this is for a new look beyond level 50, which worries me, because that means level 50 is not max level, and it could mean that max level could either be 60 or even higher, and a lot of players have voiced their concern that they don't want the max level to be any more higher. Personally, I would prefer it to be level 50, but if that's not the case, then at least have max level 60, and that is the cutoff point. Like, we don't want the leveling to be too high, or it just gets bloody repetitive. And of course, you know, also, you know, you're gearing your character, and then they tell you, oh, the max level 60. It's like, okay, all this gear I got for at level 50 is now useless, thanks. So now I have to get the new gear. So hopefully they don't push up even more. Just in my opinion, stay at 60, make 60 the max level if you want to go beyond it. If you don't, then keep it at 50. And then they said about they're doing, they finished up the warrior priest animations, combat animations, which is good. Then started working on a vampire boss, which sounds pretty cool. I look forward to that. As well as an 8-legged cat encounter in the sewers as well, which sounds cool. And then they've done their first version of a cinematic for the side area of Dracula Forest, which, yeah, it's cool they're doing that. Apparently, they're trying to make the storytelling a bit better, as well as revise the starting quest line, so that's cool. They try and incorporate the story a bit more, because for those people who don't actually read the text in the quests or anything like that, they probably won't know what the story is actually about. So having cinematics like that give you a brief glimpse of what the story's about, then that's good. And then it's just gone about them completing the achievement system, which is good, and finalising the leaderboards, which is also good because it makes people be able to be competitive in that way. And just, yeah, optimization, and them also completing various bugs with new UI functionality, including avatar frames and party UI, which means that maybe we'll be able to get different kind of avatar frames to showcase our achievements in a way. But it all sounds good. I do look forward to this update. Of course, the teaser was that they show some tier 4 equipment. So in my opinion, my favourite is the engineer, warrior priest, and shadow warrior. The others are alright, but of course, you know, they're very generic in what they are, because they're similar to what we got at the moment. But you know, it's just how they are. But yeah, I do like it. I like the sound of this update. It sounds really good. I just hope we get something soon, even if it's something so small. Like for example, I wouldn't mind if they just released the achievement system and maybe the bounty board, because they didn't even talk about the bounty board this time. Hopefully that's probably already done and they just don't want to talk about it. I kind of hope they're not trying to jam pack it all into one massive update to then release, or else we're gonna have nothing for the rest of this year. Because at the moment it's just, yeah, this is all we're getting. And they said they're not doing ETAs at the moment because they don't want to say a date and then push it back. So that's one thing they're saying. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. I kind of just wanted to do a video of me just talking about what they're teasing and what they've been doing. And just ask what you guys think. What you guys think of their tease they've done and what do you think that is to come. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.